Previously on Talk That Talk.
I don't know. I didn't check. I need to check. But if you go to realtalkthattalk.com and you want to get 30% off your purchase, just type in HBCU band. What? Why you
Do you
should?
know anything?
Actually, I know quite a lot. All right, here we go. Let's move to the next topic. So I was having this conversation, I want to say maybe about a month or so ago with a friend of mine. Actually, Sora. And the conversation really got interesting because we started talking about, directors. Well, I ain't gonna say Quan's age, more or less, but more or less Mario and Rick, those of us who came in the 2000s, right? And we started having these conversations about directors who were in seats during our time, and when we graduated, and how a lot of us wanted certain positions where people didn't give up the seats because they wanted to stay in their seats until they retired. I mean, I'm pretty sure many of us have seen that happen. But what's starting to develop now is a lot of younger guys are getting into a lot of positions, uh, some of which that a lot of us, not necessarily specifically us on the panel, but a lot of us who graduated during that time more than likely wanted, or blah, 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 blah. But they're the young guys, so they kind of can relate to the kids and so on and so forth. So, um, and if you want me to clarify just a little bit more, I can. But the question is, was the 2000s era passed by? Was the 2000s era passed by? All right. Who did I start with last time? Chief. All right, I'm gonna go back the other way. Portia. All right, don't worry about it. Her eyes got big. Don't worry about it. Flip that thing on around. Rick, go ahead since you got all to say. All right, go ahead, Rick.
Your weak ass question. Yeah. So, Bernie, was the 2000s passed over? No. And I'm gonna preface everything I'm gonna say with this: a job that would allow a student to become the band director, I ain't want that job anyway. That ain't a job that I want, because obviously the people that are in a position to hire people aren't they don't have the future success of that program in mind. They're thinking with that band head mentality, and I'm sorry, I don't want to go to a school that's looking for band heads. I just don't. I'm looking for a school that wants to be a collegiate institution, meaning that you have to have tenure track professors. You have to have people that are doing research, which is a question we haven't talked about a lot on the show at all. Part of being a great band director is, especially if you're in a tenure track position, is doing research that builds towards what you've been studying, what your passion is, what your life's work is. I don't want to go somewhere where the only thing they want is marching band. That will not be a job that I apply for ever. Not wasting my time. So I'll preface by saying that. The thing about the 2000s generation, so my freshman year in Norfolk State was 2000. So this is my generation of people. The problem, I think, Julie, is that there's nothing the matter with having somebody that's young. There's not. I mean, Mr. Adams, a lot of people don't know. When Mr. Adams started teaching, Mr. Adams was in his late teens, early 20s. Mr. Adams went to college when he was 15 years old. Yep. This man started teaching when he was 19. So, and we all know who Mr. Adams is. If you in the HBCU band world and you don't know who Paul I. Adams is, you ain't in the HBCU band world. You up there fronting. And all you youngsters, if you don't know who Paul Adams is, you need to pull your notepad out and go do some goddamn homework. All right. Mr. Adams started, he was young. Dr. Sanford started when he was in his early 20s. When he took over Virginia State, when Dr. Griffin was there, he wasn't that much older than Dr. Griffin. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing the matter with age. What we're talking about right now is what Quan says all the time on this show. We're talking about qualified people. Are there enough people that are qualified to do these jobs? I think there are a lot of people that are qualified to do the jobs, but those people may not be seeking or may not have the name cachet that some people do when it comes to this. So I think that's a part of it. The other part of it is this. And Quan, I'm gonna stay off of that because I know you probably gonna talk about it, so I'm gonna stay off. The other part of it is this: what is the vision for some of these band programs that these schools are looking for? What do they want out of these programs? We don't hear that a lot. Said institution, what do you want the future of your program to look like? Are you just putting somebody in that position to fill it and make sure the marching band keep going and we get the YouTube clicks? We got to remember this, y'all. This generation you talking about, the 2000s generation, started this band head mess. Like, we always had people that love marching band, but those people from those previous generations also had master's degrees in music and doctorate degrees in music, not in leadership or in school administration or counseling or whatever. And they running somebody's band program, because most institutions say all you have to do is have a master's. That's why you start to see a lot of major institutions saying you have to have a doctorate to get this position. You have to have a doctorate in music, because they not playing that game. Oh, Lil Pookie got a lot of name cachet in the uncut group, so he would be a good candidate for this band. No. So I think at the end of the day, the school said institution has to have a standard that they're looking for. And for our era, we got to step up and to the plate and know what the hell we want to do. Any band program I'd stand in front of, like I said in the last segment, will be a great band because I know exactly what I want to do. Wind ensemble, jazz, all those things count. So that's it.
I tend to always laugh when you come up with these random names, Lil Pookie. And I forgot what you call my man on the bass drum. But let me ask you guys a question before the next person, or not ask a question, but just kind of give you a thought. I don't know what it was like. I know what it was like for me, Mario, and Rick for the most part. Quan, I don't know what it was like when you were in school, and anybody watching, I don't know what it's like for you guys. I just remember certain situations where you did have a massive amount of talented people who were capable of doing certain things, but were never given the opportunity. We're not put on the podium to do X, Y, and Z, or put out there, or got their arrangement out in a lot of circumstances or situations. Whereas I look at today's generation, because there are a lot more younger people in seats, they're like, all right, I'm gonna give you a chance to do that. And so that's also the perspective of where I'm coming from. I'm not saying that what you said was anything that was wrong with what you said, Rick, but I'm also coming from that perspective as well, where it was just kind of like, this is my band and I ain't gonna let too many of y'all got to get it well how we got it. Versus nowadays, you see a lot of these band directors allowing these younger guys to get their arrangements out, or being able to be in front of a program, and so on and so forth. So that's also what I'm talking about as well. Just to kind of give a little bit more context as well. All right. Since Rick brought him up, go ahead, Quan. You got it next.
All right, so all these questions are just triggering. I just feel like the end of the day, bro, I don't have an issue. I graduated from school 2006, high school 2006. I graduated from Prairie View 2011. I do think we still have the last generation or regime of older band directors who say, I'm gonna die in this seat. We know a few still. That's just what it is, right? I don't have an issue with you hiring somebody that's qualified. I have an issue with hiring people are dumbing down your standard as a university and department. That's my bottom line issue. I mean, you can make a sound clip and pass it around, but I'm gonna say this, and this the truth. I have an issue, real talk, that at least if you don't have a master's in music, but you're trying to be a band director, I got an issue with that. I have an issue, real talk, that you're getting jobs only off the strength of ranging. I have an issue with that. because being a band director is so far and so more than just arranging. If that's the case, I could be like, say, Rick, I'm gonna commission you to be the arranger, and I can do the other admin work as a band director, and I can create this sound that I want. You know what I'm saying? We've had conversations on this phone where we know some directors of bands, they don't even arrange because they got to focus on the other aspects of it, right? But I have an issue with the people that real talk don't have a master's in music, but they have these positions, but you're continuing the narrative of this band head culture because your conducting pattern sucks. That matters. Your pedagogy and philosophy of teaching as an educator sucks. You're also influential. So you're honestly influencing more band heads instead of well-rounded musicians. And this is the bottom line. You have a lack of freaking, I almost cursed. You have a lack of freaking maturity that honestly puts a stain on the university when you do illegal shit with the students.
So you ended up cursing anyway. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did because I'm trying to be because it's frustrating because here's the truth. Everybody loves mess. And when it comes to HBCU, we talked about this show about protecting our own. So if we're going to protect our own, as soon as something bad happens, we smear it. But then we say we for the culture. But then in the same breath, you could do a background check because let's be real, you can Google a person's public records, but you still put them on. Like I don't get that. We say we want change. Like real talk. I said that I wanted to lose weight, but every Tuesday, bro, I was in that Popeyes line. I'm just being honest, right? It wasn't until
butter on both sides.
That B.O.B. You feel me? I had Raising Cane's. But the truth is, until a doctor told me, say, bro, if you want to live long, you might want to change some things. And so my thing, if these universities want to live long, they need to change some things. If you want truly to bring back integral music programs and music departments, man, we got to start thinking different, bro. And it's not about age, it's about maturity. Can you truly be mature for this seat? Can you separate, the aspect of like, this is the student and I'm the teacher? Can you be mature, in that position that honestly, that position as being director of bands is a prestigious seat. And I feel like personally, we just giving it out to people no different than a YouTube sensation. Not in every situation, but in most, honestly, for what's going on.